So on the Teleconnect station right now, I am in the menu labeled Tasks. This is an application we call Taskminder. I'm going to hit Create, and it's going to give me a list of tasks or routines. And again, these are customizable within your facility in a unit-by-unit basis. So your med-surg area can have completely different menus than your labor delivery or your ICU. The list is separated into two. The first is tasks, and a task may be a one-time routine, call housekeeping, transport, or set a reminder for a one-time task for a nurse or a services area. Below that is what we call routines. A routine is something that you want to reoccur automatically. Examples that we have here is RN round, aid round, so we can allow you to have the RNs and aides do their rounding odd even hours with their own timers. And as they complete those tasks, we're going to start that clock automatically. I'm going to start an RN round here. So I select RN round, and again, all these menus, the texts are completely customizable. If you have any semi-private rooms, we can support both beds with a single device. So I'm going to select which bed I'm starting this round. We will now be able to say, do I want to start now, or put a delay on it. Now you see I've created the task. It's going to show us when it's due. It's also showing us what level of staff. So as we talked earlier about the login, if I logged in as an aide, I wouldn't see this because this is not my task to complete. The time of day is important because if I am in attending to, say, a patient call and I see I'm going to have to come back shortly to complete that round, I'm going to save those steps and I'm going to complete that round now. So I just hit the check mark. It's asking me if I'm going to complete that, and I hit complete, and it's going to advance the time for that next round for me. I can select that. I also have an option for complete or deactivate on this menu. You see it's an RN round. We can put any notes in here. So for example, when my RNs do their round or the aides do their round, we can have a checklist as to what it is they need to complete while they're here. Also, we have an option for unable to complete. So if I were to come do this round and this patient may be off for some testing, I can hit unable to complete. It will bring up a menu that is again customizable on a unit by unit basis, and I can select patient not present. Now your reporting package will see that we did come to do that rounding on time, but we didn't complete it because the patient was not here. And it will start that timer over. I'm going to deactivate that. I'm going to go back to my task menu. Some other examples here is we've got patient turn. We also can set up a custom. So I just want to set a reminder. When I want to set a reminder, it's going to ask what level of staff do you want this reminder for. I'm going to say I want the aide to get this one. It's going to ask us when we want to start it and if we want a reoccurrence. If I do want a reoccurrence, what is the time frame between those reoccurrences? That is all customizable and user selectable. So going back to our task menu, we're going to focus on rounding a little bit more. So I can set an RN round so I can have my RN, for example, on the even hours come in and check on this patient. And then I can set up a separate timer for the aide. Also, if you're doing hourly rounds during the day, but at night, we're going to do that round every 2 hours. Within the system, you can define when we want to switch from that day to that night mode. And that night will automatically start sending out reminders every 2 hours instead of 1 hour. And then again, you set the time of day in the morning when you want us to switch from the 2 hours back to a 1 hour again. It's going to happen automatically in the background without having to come to the room and stop and start or make any changes to those timers that are running. And again, we will show the task to do, what staff level is due for that task. So if I had multiple running here, I have the option to let the RN see what they're responsible for and what the aide's responsible for. But when the aide logs in, the aide is only going to see the tasks that they're responsible for because they're unable to complete some of those RN tasks. Again, that's configurable how you want to hide or show those events to each of your staff levels. And the time of day is very important when that task is going to come due again. And we can hit that bar or that particular task, and we have additional information that is here. Again, we can have notes for the staff member. We're going to identify the location and the next due time on the screen, and all of these notes again are customizable, so we can have a paragraph of information here if we chose to do so. As we create these tasks and complete these tasks, this is all going to be logged into the reporting database. We also have the option, we'll talk a little later, of doing some of this on an Android-based device. So if I have a task due, I can modify that task on my mobile device if we want to give the caregivers that ability. The other advantage there is the staff are going to be able to see what tasks are due for all of their patients. So I don't need to go into my individual rooms. I will have on my mobile device all the tasks that are due for me and when they're due. So I can budget my time, and it'll give me notifications when it's come time to do those tasks. The test that we've been going through, this is an application. It's not part of your embedded nurse call. And the value there is we can push that application out to mobile devices. This is an Ascom device, but any Android device can have this functionality. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a pain assessment task. And when I create that, it is going to be the RN that's responsible. And when I create the task, I'm saying I want it to be done in 5 minutes just for demo purposes. And you'll see immediately that staff member got notification that they have that pain assessment and when it's due. When that nurse comes and completes that, they can either complete it here, or I'm going to hit complete on my mobile device. It's asking me, am I sure I want to complete this now? And you'll notice immediately we'll clear that from the station in the room. If this were a routine and not a one-time task, it would start that timer over. And then when it came due, again, it would send me a notification on the phone, also show it is due here, as well as the dome light outside the patient room when showing that task is due.